Catanians, we return with perhaps one of my greatest claims to fame in Cities and Nights, and it's such a challenge that I wasn't trying to pull off. Of course, I'm just always playing a game, always recording it just to see what happens, and this was a very good game of Greater Catan, so buckle in, grab your popcorn, or whatever salty or sweet snack, and or salty and sweet. Maybe grab a water or soda or a tea, an iced tea. Man, iced tea sounds really, or like a green tea, like an iced green tea sounds really good right now. But I do have my water in case my throat does get dry throughout this commentary. But like I said, we're playing on Greater Catan, and green goes ahead, builds on the 5, 9, 10. And I'm like, I don't like that spot, so I'm glad they took that spot instead of me. Because there's no 6 or 8, and they start out on brick, lumber, sheep. So now they have to build on a wheat ore to be able to ensure that they have a chance to get a knight and activate it. But if you look at the board, there's no wheat and ore next to each other. So I don't know what the thought process is behind the 5, 9, 10. And it's not even their starting city, so they're not going to start out with a road and a sheep. So not my favorite choice whatsoever building on the 5, 9, 10 in this setup, especially Greater Catan, because they built the road inward instead of down towards the coastline. I would have at least built it down towards the 3-for-1 port, because you know later on you got to get off the main island and start putting your numbers onto the other hexes, onto the other islands, because other players are going to be doing the same thing, and some of those numbers could go away and then they won't produce anything for you later in the game. So I will immediately go for the coastline. Since if I don't get stuck in a loop here, since I see that ore hexes are extremely limited with 1148, I'm just going to build on the 2 best ones, grab the 3-for-1 port at the same time, and then build the ship out so I can get ready to build on that sheep, ore, brick, and desert island when I so choose later in the game. Maybe about third of the way or halfway through the game, I expect to be on that island with the settlement and then a city. Now, from here, all I have to do is hope that a wheat and a sheep hex are open next to each other, but I have a good feeling about it because you see that there's like a ring of wheat with the 6, 5, 4, 6, and there's some sheep scattered around there with the 3 sheep, 11 sheep, and then another 3 sheep. So I have a good feeling, and it makes my feeling is even better when orange decides to build on the 8, 10 with the wheat port. So I know for a fact that orange's settlement is going to go on one of those wheat hexes, but since there's 4 of them, I have a 100% chance of building on at least one of those good 6 wheats. And orange goes for the 5, 6, 10, which is a very solid choice. Plus they have the wheat port, and they get on that 10 lumber, so they're going to be getting some paper. And I knew that I'm going to snag another good 6 wheat, so I snagged the 3, 4, 6, and I want to get on the 3, 4, 6 instead of on the coastline. I'll get to the ore port later, but right now I want to maximize my production as much as I can to start the game off. You know, hopefully those 4s get rolled and I get wheat and ore instead of just ore off the 4. And then later I can build out to the ore port and then cast off with ships from there. Or I could just build on the 6 wheat again and cast off with ships off of there. Either way, I already have a 3-for-1 port. We'll see how handy the ore port will be, because right now I'm not really going to be trading in any ore. I need to spend it on knights and cities. Hence the name of the expansion, Cities and Knights. Go figure. But yeah, with this setup, I knew for a fact I was going to get one of those good wheat hexes, because orange placed last, and then I was going immediately after to place my starting city on the way back for the other players to place. So gray went for the Wow, now the board's kind of zoomed. Okay, now I can see it. The board's kind of zoomed out so I could show the whole board, but it makes in editing in iMovie, it's kind of hard to see. But gray built on the 8, 9, 10. So they're going to probably be paper master. They're probably going to get the green Metropolis. And then it went back to green to place their starting settlement before rolling dice. And they went for the 4, 9, 11, which I get because they really need to get wheat. But if green had just built somewhere else, maybe the 8, 10, then they could have, or even the 3, 4, 11. Well, they still would have needed to build on the 4, 9, 11 and grab some wheat. So either way, I don't think green has a good shot at this. Unless green just goes crazy with 11s and gets a bunch of yellow city improvements to get yellow progress cards and then kickstarts their game from that perspective. I don't know. They're going to have to get on a port. They're going to have to get off the main island. And they're not really close at this point anymore to the coast, because now they need to build 2 roads down to that 5 lumber with the 3 for 1 port. But it looks like orange is just going to head that way and try to cut them off with ships. So I think orange has the better shot, because of course every time a 10 gets rolled, orange is getting a ship and a paper, essentially sheep, lumber, and paper, and just use the sheep and the lumber to build a ship. And then cut green off to that 3 for 1 port. And then from there, they can go head on over to that island on the right with the ore, the sheep, and then just start going north from there. And there goes a 10. There goes a ship and a paper. Of course, gray also gets a lumber and a paper. So now it's back to orange. I'm waiting on 1 number. I'm waiting on a 3. That's all I need. Or a couple 4s or 6s so I can 3 for 1 wheat for a sheep. But a 3 would be optimal because it's going to give me a sheep and a cloth. And I can build the knight, activate it, and then pay the cloth to get the yellow city improvements level 1. And there goes an 8, so I will get an ore. You see the barbarians are already pretty close. They're only 3 spaces away. And because orange rolled the blue dice, I might be okay. It still remains to be seen. It depends on what green rolls. If green and gray roll barbarians, then if I roll barbarians, I'm going to usher them in, then I'm going to lose a city. But actually, I take that back. I was too busy talking about the other players and their setups that I didn't realize I already built a knight, so I'm safe. So no need to worry. The only person that needs to worry is gray, because gray is the only player without a knight activated on the board. And if they lose their starting city on the 8, 9, 10, they might not be green Metropolis 100% for sure going to grab it, because they're going to be stuck trying to get a city back out on the board. And of course, gray built on 0 ore. And look at that. Defeat by barbarians. Gray is the only one to burn a city, so they're going back down to 2 victory points. They did build on wheat, but they did not build on ore. So it might be tough for them. It depends on what kind of green progress cards come their way. And look at that. And just like someone commented on one of my previous videos, they said to this point exactly that a good amount of players will just rage quit. If they lose their starting city, they'll feel like, oh, this game's already over for me. There's no way I can come back and win. Yet I've done it enough times to be like, I'm just going to stick it through. Plus, I'm not going to be the one to rage quit anyway. But gray, see you later. Have a good life. We're going to trade with the computer you left behind, and we're going to have fun with that, because that's going to help this game go a little bit quicker. And it's going to be a slightly more enjoyable, because seeing 2 cards come in for one of my cards, ideally. So, yeah, thank you, Gray. And Gray, you've kind of submitted your sentence here for the rest of the game. There's no chance that the computer's going to beat us. So there was a chance if Gray stuck behind or stayed as a human player and tried to battle it out. But now that it's a computer, we're just going to take advantage of the trades, and there's no way the computer will win. Okay, maybe like a 0.5% chance, but basically no chance. Okay, so I want to get 2 lumber for that 1 wheat. We'll see what gray the AI does. I could also just hold and try to get another ore off a 4 or 8, but it was a 6 instead. So that actually works out for me because I didn't build any lumber. You know, I'm trying to build some ships, so I'm hoping for a 3 to get rolled. I can build a ship, touch that sheep hex, discover a number there, and then hopefully build on that, or maybe build on that and the brick hex next to it in the next 5-10 turns. But for now, since I got that 6, I got double wheat off it. Now I just need another 4 or 8 to be rolled, and the second city on the board. And again, I'm jumping ahead, or I'm still behind with catching up to the actual gameplay because I already have 2 cities on the board, and the 4 gets shut down. Will orange take from me or green? Will steal my coin, so then that ensures orange gets the blue city improvements level 1. Now I gotta watch out for orange getting potential blue progress cards to screw me over, because right now me and orange are both tied for the lead. So of course orange will probably use spy on me, deserter, wedding, bishop, all kinds of stuff could be used on me with that blue progress card stack. But likewise, I can fire right back, because I will, anytime orange gets a blue progress card, I will be getting a blue progress card. There goes a 5. Nothing for me, so I'll just pass. So yeah, sometimes you get into these situations where you already upgraded all your settlements on the board to cities, and you have wheat and ore in your hands. So now, yes, it would be perfect if I had the ore port, so I could 2 for 1 instead of waiting to get a third ore to 3 for 1. But I'm still glad I built on the 3-4-6, because if I only built on the 3-6 ore port, then I would have left the other 3 sheep with the 4-6 wide open for green to go build on. And because I didn't build on any lumber or brick, they would have easily beat me to that spot. And then them getting that spot, building a settlement on it, maybe even putting a city on it later, would lead to some great production for green. So I'm actually glad that it ended up this way with this setup on this board instead of the hypothetical option I'm discussing, because giving green that extra production boost would have made them a potential, threat in this game. Because right now I don't see them as a threat at all, because they didn't build any ore. I mean, they have some knights activated, which is crazy to me. They must be 4 for 1-ing. But they don't have any city improvements. The only commodities they're getting are cloth, and that's off an 11. So I really doubt green's going to get a single metropolis this game. Also, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you look at the title, they're definitely not going to get a metropolis this game, because someone else is going to be going for those intensely. And the computer is taking a little while, but they ended up trading me a lumber and a wheat for the sheep. And that was a 12, and I'm looking at the board. Do you see a 12? I don't see any 12s whatsoever. Is there a 2 on the board? Maybe they are yet to be discovered, because there's like 5. I think there's 5 numbers that get placed on the other islands before you start pulling numbers off the main island. No, there is a 12, isn't there, on that brick with the 3-for-1 port near gray? Because gray is building out to that 3-for-1 port with the 9-12. Yeah. I'm telling you, guys are watching this on YouTube, and the screen is a lot easier to see / a lot bigger. But in iMovie, the screen is what I'm looking at on the preview screen while I'm trying to give you this commentary is literally like a 2.5 by 4-inch screen, and it makes everything look incredibly tiny. So I'll roll a 6, and my 6 is open, thankfully. The 4 is shut down, but right now it's just a 6 double wheat, and I see Greg doing a counter offer. So instead of 1 lumber, I'm going to ask for 2. I'll get the check mark. I will go through with the trade, and now I have 5 ore in my hands. And I get the Yellow City Improvements level 1, thankfully, with that cloth. And the only thing left to do, since I can't build another city, is to trade in for some sheep, build a ship, and discover that sheep hex. What number could it be? I'm hoping for a 9, hoping for a 5. I don't think it'll be a 6 or an 8, but you never know. And right here, I can actually take 2 sheep and build 2 ships, but instead, I'm just going to build 1 ship. And if I had that ore port, I could have traded in 2 ore for a sheep, built the settlement, but I'm just going to wait on it. Wait till next turn to be able to build that settlement. But there goes an 8, and there's actually the 3rd ore I need, plus I get diplomat. So hopefully that means that orange did not get a diplomat, and then I will be able to keep that ship out there on the board and not get it ripped off the board. You'll notice that orange did use alchemist to roll the 8, and we both share the 8 ore, but I have a city on it, whereas orange only has a settlement, so I'm getting an ore and a coin. So I think orange for rolling that, but I think they mainly rolled it because they have that 8 wheat towards the top right of your screen, and they're getting 3 wheat every time an 8 gets rolled because they have a city and a settlement on it. Plus, they have a ship off their coastal settlement, and it looks like they're going to go discover more wheat hexes and a lumber and a brick over at the top right of your screen, so orange definitely has a good setup. Therefore, I think they are the threat, the big power player to watch out for in this game, as we are almost 17 minutes in, and we're still tied at 4 victory points, but now that we got a little more momentum, a little more production happening, progress cards coming in, and then, of course, diplomat has to be out there, not just in my hands, but in someone else's hands. I can't tell you how many times I've had it in a Cities and Knights game where I get a progress card, but someone else gets the identical progress card. And sometimes, like if it's diplomat, then I was going to use it on them, but they already had a diplomat of their own, so they used it on me first. The only one that really you can kind of come back from, I think, is deserter, because if they have deserter and you have it, you get it off the same dice roll, and they use it first. Once it gets to your turn, you can just use your own deserter right back on them, and it kind of evens out. Resource monopoly, technically, yeah, in theory, but if they're stealing resources away from you with resource monopoly, they're probably just going to spend them, and who knows by the time it gets to your turn if they've gotten more production off dice rolls. If they haven't, you can't really resource monopoly them back maybe as effectively, or maybe you have to wait a little while. Also, spy, that one sucks, because if they get spy and you get spy, but it gets to their turn first, they can just spy your spy away from you. And then if you have any other progress cards, they'll see what you have, and they can use your own spy and steal a different progress card from you as well. And that's just the absolute worst. Of course, it's the best when you get to do it to another player, but when they do it to you, you really feel like you've been set back in the game. So, of course, I roll a 7. And I'm going to place it right on that 8 wheat, because that is just too powerful to be left wide open. I will steal an ore after I had to burn some cards. I do have Commercial Harbor. I can potentially get commodities, but I don't know exactly what's out there, because, of course, Gray had to burn their cities. They're not getting any more paper coming in. And then, has an 11 really been rolled? Because green would have cloth off that, but they probably would have spent it already, because they're probably only getting like 1 cloth every 20 dice rolls, if an 11 has even been rolled. And then you got orange, who built the city on the 5, 8, 10. So if a 10 gets rolled, they're getting paper. So I may get like 1 paper, which I do get here. So I'll take it, because I know if I wanted to use Commercial Harbor to its fullest potential and get a commodity from each player, I would have to wait a long time for that to happen. So why not just use it now, get the 1 paper that I knew orange had, build Green City Improvements level 1, and then have that in my back pocket for the rest of the game. So hopefully, if a green dice gets rolled with a red dice with a 1 on it, or a 2, I will get a green progress card, and I will be able to use it, because the earlier in the game you get progress cards, the more helpful it's going to be overall. If you have to wait till halfway through the game to start getting progress cards, then it might be too late for you. It just might, because I've seen games, or I've been in games, where one of the players just immediately starts building city improvements, like I'm talking before the barbarians even invade, and they start getting progress cards like crazy. And then from that point, that just like is the stepping stone for them to build on a few other places on the board, and then just their production just really takes off, and everyone else is struggling to build, level 1 on even 2 different colors city improvements. So that can happen. But this game is kind of slow to start out. You see, now green has joined me and orange with being tied at 4 victory points. Of course, gray is still stuck at 2. But now green's making some moves here. It looks like they're going to go build on that lumber port and then cast off with ships from there. And if they do so, they can build on that ore and brick spot, and then they'll be finally getting ore. But I still have yet to see any city improvements for them. And even with me and orange, we each have level 1 on every color, but it's just kind of slow goings. So I will get a second coin, so I will get the blue city improvements level 2. And I was asking for a brick to try to either get a city wall or build a road and then save up for a settlement after that. But perhaps not this turn. Okay, so orange wants cards that I don't have, so I'll just have to wait. So I'll just get the blue city improvements level 2. I do have merchant, but I'm not sure if I should use it just yet, because I don't really have any cards to use it on. I have 2 lumber, but it's not like I'm getting any more lumber off hexes, so I'm just going to wait. Hopefully wheat or ore starts to get rolled a lot, so I can determine where to put merchant. And hopefully orange doesn't have a spy up their sleeve to steal it from me, because that would just really set me back even more and put them ahead quite a bit. But now they're chasing the robber off their 8 wheat. Presumably it's going on one of my spots. We share the 8 ore, so I know it's not going on there. All I can hope for is that it doesn't go on the 4 ore, because in the off chance a 4 gets rolled, that would be a really good thing for me to have ore and wheat coming in. But of course that 4 wheat gets shut down again, so now I'm going to have to just deal with getting an ore and a coin without the 2 wheat if a 4 gets rolled. So I'm pushing for 6s. I'm hoping for 6 or 8s. 8s are nice, but I am noticing that 8s are benefiting orange a lot more than they are me, although I'm still getting a benefit. There goes a 7 from the computer. Who will they shut down? Will they shut the 8 wheat down? Because that seems to be the hottest thing right now on the board. And usually the computer will go for the 6 or 8 that has the most built on it. Although technically the 8 ore has the same amount built on it. It also has a city and a settlement, just from 2 different players. But thankfully the computer goes for the 8 wheat instead, steals from orange. And we may just yet be able to roll a 4 without it being shut down and actually have a hot turn. Of course, if I had Alchemist, I'd be rolling a 4 without question. Also, the first player to get the science bonus this game, I think, is going to have a really, really strong advantage. And against all odds, I roll the 4 on my turn, and it's, funnily enough, it gives me the cards to build a city, but I don't have an available settlement to upgrade to a city, so I'm just going to have to wait. And right now I could go put the merchant on the ore, but I can't quite get 2 sheep to build a ship and a settlement. So for now, I'll just build some roads. And this one, my idea was to build 2 roads, use intrigue to get rid of Orange's knight, but I didn't realize they had built another road off the settlement up towards the 3-for-1 port. Because you see that orange road really blends in with the color of the wheat hex. I know yellow and orange are different colors, but while I was in the heat of the moment, I was so excited to use intrigue because I thought that Orange didn't have another road built off their settlement or their city, so I thought that that knight was just going to get displaced off the board because it had nowhere else to go upon using intrigue. But sadly, I was wrong, so Orange will in fact keep their knight on the board, and I was trying to get them to lose the city, but today is not that day, because I was thinking, you know what, Orange is the bigger threat, like I said, so why not have them burn a city and put them back a huge step so they have to get that city back on the board to then get back to being competitive. At least I do have a 3-length road, so now if I build another road towards the building on the 6 wheat again, I can put the settlement there, and then when I start building ships, I'll be in a very good spot to take Longish Road and potentially hold it for a while. Plus, I have level 3 Blue City Improvements, aka the Politics bonus, so I am 4 short coin away from the Blue Metropolis, and going off of this board, no one else has a city on an ore. So I am basically a shoo-in to get the Blue Metropolis. So now I just have to make sure I can keep Longish Road, maybe even max out the Blue Metropolis, and then from there I can start maybe getting the other 2 metropolises once I build some more settlements on the board and upgrade those to cities. Because of course I did discover that sheep hex, it is a 9 sheep. That's a very, very good spot. So if I can get a settlement on there, then get a city on there later, I can start getting some cloth, seriously, because the 3 is okay. It's not getting rolled all that much, but if I get a 9 sheep with a city, get cloth off that, I can start to challenge Orange for the Yellow Metropolis, because right now they're already at level 2, and I don't know how close they are to level 3 Yellow City Improvements, but they're definitely closer than me. As you see, I have no cards at all in my hand. And look at Green making it happen, not only building the settlement on the lumber port with the 2-6, but also building a ship. So now they just need one more ship to touch that ore hex and put a number on that. And of course, there's 4 more numbers to discover before we start pulling numbers off the main island. But with the Barbarian roll by Gray, the Barbarians have defeated us, and it's going to be Orange that has to burn a city. And that was their only city, so now they're back down to 3 victory points. So, because I think that was the main competition, but now it looks like Gray could possibly be the new competition because they still have their city, and they're going to be getting paper off that 8 lumber and getting some more green city improvements in the future, so we'll have to watch them. But for right now, supposing that Orange doesn't build a city back on the board anytime soon, we might be okay. Of course, an 8 gets rolled, so they do get ore. I get the ore and the coin. I am now 3 coin away from the Blue Metropolis, and I will have the first Metropolis out of anybody this game, and no one else is really even close, because Orange is the closest at 2 Yellow City Improvements, but they got to build a city back on the board before they can even think about building any more city improvements. So I'm in a good spot right now. Although I am tied with Green in victory points, I am doing well, because all I have to do is make sure I can build on that new island to the left here, the bottom left of the screen, put settlements and then cities on there, because by the time that happens, I think numbers are going to start coming off the main island. I get my only ore stolen from me, and I already have, let's see, I have 2 cities. I really want to get a settlement on that 9 sheep, or I want to double down on the 6 wheat. Because right now that 6 wheat is probably going to stay on the island for a while, unless Green starts building a crazy amount of ships and discovering all those hexes on the right island. But I should be good for, I don't know, the next 15, 20 dice rolls. We'll see. we are getting close to that halfway point of the game. And even though the victory points don't show it, it's a lot of setup in the initial start of Greater Catan. So the victory points might be low at this point, but you see we're already 30 minutes into the video, into the game. But once your production really gets going about, I don't know, halfway / 3/4 of the way through, then the last, 8, sometimes even 10 victory points happen very quickly, or at a quicker pace than the initial first half of the game. Okay, so Orange has 9 cards, and they were able to do it. So they quickly put the city back on the board. They put it in the same spot, which was smart, because it was pretty much either that spot or the 8-10 if they wanted to battle me for the blue Metropolis, but that wouldn't have been wise because I'm already so far ahead. So they decided, I'm going to build the city back on the 3-6-10, hopefully get some paper off the 10, and now they're really close to getting the science bonus. They're just 3 paper away. And look at those 2 8s being rolled, but the 8 being shut down on the 8 ore. So I get no coin, no ore whatsoever, and I have to watch Gray get paper and lumber off those rolls. So that was 2 lumber and a paper off of every 8, and that was 2 8 so far. So that should be 4 lumber and 2 paper for Gray. So they are probably even closer than Orange to getting the science bonus. Barbarians are 2 spaces away from invading, but everyone is good on knights except for Green. If Green is not able to activate a knight, then I suspect they're going to burn a city, because I count at least 5 cities on the board. Yeah, there's 4 cities all clustered close to each other, and then I have another city on the 40 with a 3-for-1 port. So there should be 5 barbarian strength, and there's only 3 knight strength, because everyone has a single knight activated except for Green. Green does have 2 knights on the board, so if they can activate both of those, they can potentially get a Defender of Catan victory point. But I don't think any 4s have been rolled here. Maybe not even any 6s lately. So, and there goes a 7, and I advanced the barbarians. So, yeah, actually, Green is probably going to lose a city, because Orange has to roll, and they have to not roll barbarians, and then Green has to roll and also not roll barbarians, and to have any hope of saving their city. But I think, let's see if Orange. So Orange does not roll in barbarians, and it was a 4, so that actually works out great for Green. But now we just have to see if Green cannot roll barbarians. So me and Green both get wheat. So now I'm safe, and as soon as barbarians come in, I'm just going to reactivate my knight with the wheat that I have, and then I can focus on trying to save up for a ship, and maybe even another ship and a settlement. But it's not looking good for Green. Green seem to be having a little momentum. They did discover a 5 ore, or a 5 on the ore hex. And I believe, they do have Longest Road with that ship that they used to discover that 5 on the ore hex. Who do I think will take Longest Road later in the game? It's kind of hard to say. I definitely think if Orange gets back in the swing of things, they're going to build ships all over the top right of the screen, discover that wheat, lumber, wheat, and brick hexes, and they could be in contention for Longest Road. I don't think I will, because my main goal is to get this blue Metropolis, build over to the sheep hex where the 9 is, and eventually try to contest for the yellow Metropolis. So I'm more on the Metropolis game rather than Longest Road. So I'll probably just let Orange, maybe even Gray and Green battle it out for Longest Road, because Gray pretty much has unfettered, what's the word? They have complete access to the top left island, and my words always escape me in my moment of need, but they unchallenged, I should say. They have unchallenged access to the top left island, because no one's anywhere near as close as they are, and Gray already has a settlement on the 3-for-1 port with those 2 brick hexes. And just as predicted, Green did have to burn a city, and it sucks because they even rolled another 4 on their turn, so they had all the wheat in the world to activate their knights, and it's too bad for them, so they're just going to pass. And I get even more wheat, which is good. I don't have an 11, so I have to watch Gray get some cloth. But Gray is a computer, so I will double down on the trades. And I'll once again double down. I don't need any ore right now because I already built my cities. So as my dog barks in the middle of all my commentaries, nothing's changing there. I will reactivate my knight. And I really don't want to battle it out for Defender Catan victory points, because right now all I need is one knight to protect my stuff, because other people, they're going to activate their knights and then we'll be safe. And I have the cards I need. All I need to trade in is some wheat. And I could get the blue Metropolis right now. I do have 3 coin. I could do 2 wheat for a 4th coin, but right now I want to trade in for 2 lumber. And let's build a ship. And I could have built the settlement here. Or do I want to build another ship? It's kind of hard to say, because if I build another ship, I can discover a brick. Okay, so that's a 4-9, so that's a good spot. So I'll build the settlement on the 4-9 instead of just the 9, just so I can have some more production coming in, because as I said, later on, that whole area, that whole mini island is going to be chock full of my cities. That's the plan for my late game strategy. And I said, what the heck, right now I'll get the blue Metropolis instead of just holding extra cards so they don't get stolen from me. Plus I'll have at least one of my cities for sure safe from barbarians, because there's no way anybody's going to be stealing that blue Metropolis anytime soon. So I will jump ahead to 7 victory points. I am in the lead, and that's fine with me, because I know that longest road is going to be contested here later in the game, but my blue Metropolis should stay with me. And I will keep an eye out for anybody building any blue city improvements, and by then I should have it saved up enough to max out my blue Metropolis with 5 coin for level 5 blue city improvements, because 4s and 8s are bringing me coin, and honestly no one else is producing any coin. They'll have to trade in for it, or they'll have to steal it with trade monopoly if they want to build blue city improvements. And as we wait, because sometimes the players take a little while to roll the dice to get things going here, we'll see that I do have 2 brick and an ore. I don't have science bonus, but I'm confident that my 4s and 6s will be rolled to bring me some wheat. And of course, I still have merchant on wheat, so I can just 2 for 1 that for the sheep and the lumber as I need it. Although a 3 would be nice to give me the sheep, and then all I have to do is trade them for lumber, because of course I did not build on a lumber hex, which is not totally the end of the world. Ideally, you want to build on every single resource, but if you can't, build on some really good spots and then get to a port, and then maybe even get merchant, and then you'll be solid. You'll be set up that way. Yeah, sometimes, does this ever happen to you guys where you're waiting for someone to roll and they just take their entire turn to roll? I don't know if it's a connection issue or what, if they're just away from they went to go do something else and they weren't paying attention, but basically all they can do is roll, and then it gets immediately passed to the next player. So green rolls a 9, they get some bricks, so does gray. And I could have gotten sheep, but I'm not quite built on that 4-9. So building on the 4-9 will bring me another number for my number diversity. So by that point, I'll have a 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. So my number diversity is really not that good, but you see the 4s and 8s were good to me, good enough to give me the blue Metropolis. Because sometimes your number diversity, it really needs to be really high in order to be successful in a game of Catan. Other times, you happen to just luckily build on, let's say, like 5, 10, 11 are the numbers that get rolled a whole bunch in a game in Catan Universe, and you just happen to build on those, and you will just run away with the game, and it's insane. I was playing some games earlier today, not recorded, where I built on mostly 3, 4, 8, and 9, and only the 8 was getting rolled semi-consistently. I actually had a game where for the first half of the game, 12 was the second highest rolled number. And it still blows my mind how that's even possible. But it's Catan Universe, it's these wacky dice rolls, so what are you going to do about it? You just got to suck it up and take the L and then try again another game to hopefully get lucky with building on the right numbers that are going to get rolled a lot in the next game. There goes a 7, and I have 9 cards. I just got 2 brick to build a city wall. But then again, I was holding on to the brick anyway to build the settlement. I was just hoping to get some more wheat to trade in for my lumber and my sheep. And I gotta wait for orange to get rid of a progress card because they have 5 in their hand. Of course, when it's not their turn, they can only have 4 in their hand. And once again, the robber pays me a visit, so I'll get rid of all my coin because, I already have the blue Metropolis, so I'll just wait till later to get level 5 as I need it. And of course, I steal a brick when I wanted to get a sheep or a lumber, but I will use spy, and orange has 4 progress cards, so I definitely have to either steal from them or gray. Gray does only have 1 progress card, but I figured it would have been something good, and it is. It's medicine. So I'm looking ahead. Once I can build this settlement, I will immediately be able to upgrade to a city, or much faster because I have medicine in my hand. And because I had Smith in my hand, I said, you know what, let me build a knight so that way I can activate both level 1 knights to level 2 knights. And now I'm in a position where the barbarians are 4 spaces away from invading, and Defender of Catan is a strong likelihood to come my way. And Defender Catan, I would say, is something to always consider. If you think you can acquire it, you go for it, especially in Greater Catan, because this is a lot of victory points to rack up. We're going to 20 victory points, I believe. So every victory point counts, and along the way, other people could get Printer or Constitution instead of you. So you getting Defender Catan instead of another player is going to help you out that much more. It might be just the 1 or 2 victory points you need to give you that slight edge, that slight push to end up getting victory over someone else, rather than if you didn't and you were lagging behind, and even if you got longest road, you were still unable to catch up to someone else who was just a little bit ahead of you. So always consider Defender of Catan victory points. And once again, orange is taking their sweet old time. I wonder if they will get booted and have an AI replace them. Because if that's the case, then it'll be basically me being green, and then we'll have gray and orange to exploit as AIs in the trading. So 2 wheat to my name. Barbarians are close, about halfway. So I just need basically 4s, 8s, and 6s. Let's get those rolling. And then from there, we can get on the 4-9. Then we can start building some more yellow city improvements. And then after that, I think if I can take the yellow metropolis, then I'll have the trade bonus. And then that'll allow me to trade in for green city improvements for paper. And then maybe even take all 3 metropolises. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So orange, once again, took too long, so they get booted. So it's basically just me and green at this point. And it sucks because you get all the way, 43 minutes into a game, and you're just trying to have a good game of Catan, but, 2 of the players leave. So it kind of takes a little bit away from the game, but, you still have 1 human player to battle out against, to have a battle of the wits and strategy, so we'll just keep it going. And green builds the settlement on a 3-5. And because the pirate ship is still there, I'm willing to bet they're probably going to build some roads next if they can't get the pirate ship out of there. And there goes an 8. My 8 is shut down once again. Probably missed out on a bunch of ore and coin this game just from the robber being on my 8 ore. But the 3 comes in clutch, so now I have a sheep. And I do have a cloth. I also have irrigation, which is going to give me 4 wheat for my 2 irrigation hexes. And I have Smith, so I can actually get Mighty Knights because I already have the politics bonus. But let's go ahead and trade in for a brick and in lumber. And now we have exactly what we need to build a settlement on the 4-9 spot. And we still have medicine in our back pocket, so once we get 1 more ore, we'll have a city on that 4-9 spot. And then from there, we can build roads down to that intersection of the ore and the 2 sheep hexes and build another settlement and another city on that spot. And then the yellow metropolis should definitely be within reach before anybody else gets it. Because, yeah, the computer, which is now orange, is ahead of us, but I think once we get set up on that island, we'll have a very good shot. And actually, the computer moved their ship over to their settlement off the 3-8 coastline. So it looks like they're trying to go discover some new hexes. So now it's really good that we built on that new island, because I think numbers are going to start coming off the main island here the next couple turns. So the computer, Gray, is trying to trade ore, and I absolutely want it, but he'll just pass. And actually, I think my medicine got stolen from me right before I could use it. So that's a bummer, but it's okay because I still have merchant on my wheat hex, so I can trade 2 wheat, have 2 left over. Now I have 2 wheat and 3 ore, and there's the city on the 4-9, so now we acquired a 9, and of course that's a very good number, so we're going to hope that it doesn't get stolen away with Inventor. Barbarians invade, and I am the Defender of Catan because I have the most Knight Strength contributed, so I will go up to 10 victory points. And now, even though we're already 46 minutes into the game and we only have, 24 minutes left? Now, things are really going to start to ramp up after this 7 roll, right? Gray does have a city wall. Do they have more? They just have 1. So they are able to hold 9 cards and not have to burn any cards. They also have 3 progress cards. So does Orange. So they're probably going to make some moves on their next turn. There goes a 10. I don't have it. That's paper for Orange. They could be getting maybe they'll be getting the science bonus in the next couple of turns here. I get the printer, though. Or no, sorry, do I get it? Yes, I do get it, because Merchant got stolen from me by Gray. So I went back down to 9, but I go back up to 10 with Printer. But I just have to pass the dice, because there's not much I could do. 7, but it's a blue progress card. It's Wedding. And at this point, I'm so far ahead, I doubt I'll be able to use Wedding at all. Unless someone, steals Longest Road from green and gets a Metropolis and some cities in the process. But I'll probably be holding on to that Wedding. It might even get spied away from me and used against me, so we'll see if that happens. But green also rolls a 7. I'm going to put it right on the 8. Because of course I'm in the lead, so I know I'm going to get shut down. Okay, Gray's going to go... Oh, they can roll a 4, which is good, so we get wheat and brick. Oh, and we get ore, because of course I also have a 4 ore. So actually, Alchemist should always be used on a 4 from henceforth, here on out. Because I have 3 4s, and they all have cities on them. And I'll use my second Smith to promote my level 2 Knights to level 3 Mighty Knights. So now the Barbarians are once again 3 spaces away from invading. They have actually advanced pretty fast since I just got that Defender of Catan victory point, about 4 or 5 turns ago. And they're already only 3 spaces away, so I'm looking at another Defender of Catan victory point, which is going to put me up another victory point, and from there, I'll be up to 11. I already have all my settlements have become cities. I have 3 cities. I really need a road building. That's what I need. If I can get a road building, I can build down, discover, put numbers on that sheep and ore hex, and then later put a settlement on that spot. And look at the computer Orange. They always want to battle out for Knight Strength, so Orange has a 5 Knight Strength. I just barely am winning with 6 Knight Strength, so hopefully we keep it that way. Basically, if Gray, myself, and Orange all roll Barbarians, then I can guarantee that I will get a Defender of Catan victory point, barring anybody having Deserter in their hand, which I doubt Gray does because they don't have any blue city improvements. There goes a 6. I'll get 2 wheat. And Gray does get the science bonus, so we'll have to... Hopefully, they will not get the green Metropolis anytime soon, because we're going to want to try to steal that or take it for ourselves before anyone else does after we get the yellow Metropolis. That's the plan. So with this robber placement, keep in mind I have Bishop. So I'll actually move the pirate ship. I'll get 1 card, and then I can go ahead and use bishop and move the robber, get 2 more cards. So I got 3 cards in total off of that 7 roll, basically. I will get to Yellow City Improvements level 2 because I was able to steal a cloth. Now just 3 more cloth. I'll have the politics bonus. We get some 9s rolling in. That would be nice. Basically 9s, 4s, and 6s would be optimal for me. So I'll trade in 2 wheat for a lumber. Now I can build a road. And I'm definitely going to build the settlement on that 6 wheat spot, so I can have 3 wheat coming in every time a 6 is rolled. And then after that, I can even cast out with ships over to those brick and sheep hexes if I want to. And there goes a 4, exactly the best thing for us. 6 cards come away, and I just barely was able to edge out orange and Defender Catan Night Strength, so I get another victory point. I'm up to 11. Computers will lag it behind at 6. Orange is still in this. They're not backing down. They hang on. They're going to hang on to Longish Road still. And because I moved the pirate ship in a different spot, green can build ships if they want to now. But they may just build roads so they can sneak around to that ore hex. Because building on ore, of course, in Cities and Knights is always very helpful because they only have 1 ore hex. It's that 5 that they just recently built on. So now I'm at 12 victory points. There goes another 8. And if I get another 8 and a 4, I'm going to just max out the Blue City Improvements right now, I think. There goes an 8. And I get Merchant. This is very good. So hopefully no 7s get rolled, because by the time I need to roll, I'm going to have more than 9 cards. Gray's going to steal Merchant away. And I have 5 coin in my hand. And I don't roll a 7. I actually rolled the best number I could, which is a 4. Best number for me. I have 6 coin in my hand, so let me go ahead and secure away the blue Metropolis forever. That's one of the Metropolises maxed out. And I also have Merchant. Of course, I would probably put the Merchant on the ore hex because I have 6 ore. I could build another city if I wanted to, because on that 6 wheat. But instead, I'll trade in for 2 paper, get Green City Improvements level 2, and now we are very close to both the trade bonus and the science bonus. Now I'll trade in 2 ore for a lumber. Here goes a road, and I discover a 10, and I think that's all the numbers to be discovered. So now numbers will start to be pulled off the main island, I believe, because 5 numbers have been discovered. There goes another 8. Things are going well. So road building. Longish Road's been stolen away by Orange. Of course, Deserter gets used on me, so I have to get rid of a Mighty Knight. And Orange is able to place that Mighty Knight on their end. Even though they don't have the politics bonus, if you steal away a Mighty Knight with Deserter, you get to place it if you have an open space available to put it on. As was showcased right there. So I get a paper, and this isn't even a computer. This is a human player trading me paper because they needed wheat. So that was very, very awesome of a trade. So I get a paper. Now I just need 2 more. Thankfully, I still have Merchant on the ore. So if we can get some more 4s and 8s going. There's a 6. Okay, that's 3 wheat this time, because now I have a city and a settlement on it. Commercial Harbor. So I'll give away an ore because it's useless to me at this point because I already maxed out the blue city improvements. Plus, I don't have trade bonus, so it's not like I can 2-for-1 commodities just yet. If there goes a 6, there's 3 more wheat. And now, I think it's a good idea to put Merchant on the wheat hex. Because if I do that, I could get the science bonus this turn if I want. Or I could build another road, touch that ore hex, and see which number I'm able to pull off the main island and put on there. Okay, here we go. The first resource depletion. And of course, I want to steal a number that also is shared by another player on the main island to screw them over. So I could do the 3 or the 4, the 4 or the 8. I'm going to do the 3 because even though it's a computer, they are the next best player at 8 victory points. So I'll take the 3, and later, if I get Inventor, I'll swap that 3 out with like a 5 or a 9. And I'll go ahead, because I was able to put the merchant on the wheat hex, I will trade in, get the cards I need for a settlement, and now the next upgrade is going to be a city on that 3, 9, 10 spot, and then really go hard for that yellow metropolis. And if you notice, gray did get Constitution, a free victory point from the blue progress card stack. And now look at my hand, all blue progress cards. So Deserter and Bishop will definitely be used to my advantage. I'm already at 14 victory points. You see how things kind of pick up here later in the game in the Greater Catan Scenario? Looks like green is going to try to take back their longest road while also discovering some more hexes. As soon as they touch that ore hex with a road, they're going to pull a number off the main island. Saboteur. Thankfully, I don't have that many cards, so I just have to get rid of 2. I'll get rid of my commodities because right now I want to get the city on a 3, 9, 10, and the computer actually gets the green metropolis. So now we have to hope that they don't get 5 paper in their hand, either by trading in or by earning it. But orange is actually making moves. They're stealing numbers off the main island. They've already stolen a 5 and a 10, which actually hurts them because not having that 10 lumber with the city, and now it just being a blank lumber hex on the main island next to that 8 wheat, means that orange is not getting any paper anymore. And now I'm 1 ore away, and there goes the 8. That's the 8 I need. And this time, because my knight was stolen away by a deserter, I have to watch orange get the Defender of Catan victory point instead of me. So that sets me back a little bit. I would have been at 15 and only 5 away from winning. But that's okay, because I think our plan is still on track. Now, assuming green is not able to steal wheat or an ore, and they steal an ore instead of a coin or a paper, I may not be able to build my metropolis, or my city, I mean. But there goes a 9. Okay, very good. Commercial harbor, so I'm going to give away the ore again. Or sorry, the coin again, because again, I don't have trade bonus, so I can't 2 for 1 coin or any other commodity. And with 10 cards in my hand, there goes a 4. I was going to say, with those 10 cards, I could not have traded in or done anything to build the city. But 4 comes in clutch, and I get wheat, I get ore, I get brick, I get coin, I get everything I ever wanted and more. So now, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is build the city on the 3, 9, 10. And I also have resource monopoly, so if I pay any attention to the 4s being rolled, I know that there's some wheat out there. I know for sure green has it, and I'm willing to bet the other players have it, and I was right. So I get a bunch of wheat. I build the city, so now I have 2 cities on that island. It's a small island, but that island is going to be my yellow metropolis making machine. It is going to churn out sheep and cloth, which is really going to help me out. And I was able to trade in for some more cloth and paper, get the trade bonus, and get the science bonus in the same turn. So now we're in a very good spot. We are 4 cloth away from stealing, or from earning, from taking the yellow metropolis before anybody else. And then after that, I think it's time to work on the green metropolis and do a complete metropolis max out, as the title of the video would suggest. We do go to 4 night strength. Unfortunately, orange is at 7 night strength, so I think we're going to have to just let them keep running away with Defender of Catan. Because they can have, now Defender of Catan is not that important, because now we're in a position to take metropolises and go up by 2 victory points every so often, instead of waiting an entire, at the minimum, I think it's 7 turns for the barbarians to invade each time. So 1 victory point every 7 turns. But it's always more like 10 to 15 turns, because the barbarian dice roll doesn't get rolled every single time. So let's just say every 10 dice rolls, Defender of Catan for orange. That's going to take them 30 dice rolls to just get 3 victory points. And I think I'll be able to do a Metropolis max out and get 3 Metropolises before 30 dice rolls. Because once I get the yellow Metropolis, I'll be up to 16 victory points. And if I can steal the green one from gray, I'll be up to 18 victory points. And then from there, it's just a settlement here and a city there. And this game is over. Of course, I have Master Merchant in my hand, so Wedding and Master Merchant are useless to me. Let's just hope no one has Spy, because they will be treated very nicely to my hand and be able to use it right back against me after they steal it from me. I'll use Diplomat, steal a road away from orange, which effectively gives longest road to green. But green only has 1 city improvement on both the yellow and the green side, so I'm really not worried about them. I'm more worried about orange because they have level 2 on every single thing, so they're definitely getting more progress cards that can be used to screw me over. And what was that, at 10? So 10 I don't have, but of course I do. Actually, no, I do have. I do have a 10 sheep now. I was going to say science bonus, but I do have a 10 sheep. So I got cloth and coin, or cloth and sheep. There goes a 5. Don't have it, but science bonus is here to save the day. I'll take a second ore. Another 7, but a green progress card. Of course, get rid of Wedding. Okay, so now with mining, now that I have 3 ore hexes, that's going to be 6 ore. Plus I have 2 merchants in my hand. So merchant is definitely coming back to me. Because right now, who has merchant? Is it... Again, the board is kind of so small, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so gray had it. So gray drops a victory point, I go up a victory point. What a powerful progress card merchant is, eh? You get a victory point, plus you get a 2-for-1 trade capability on 1 resource of your choice. Incredible. So I will actually trade in. Now that I have the trade bonus, I can trade in 2 coin for another cloth, and some of my ore for cloth. Now I have the yellow Metropolis, and we are very close to maxing out all 3 Metropolises. Which, have you ever seen that done, or have you done this before? Because I know it's not totally impossible, but being able to get that far ahead in front of every other player in the game to be able to do so before another player, because usually you always have a player maxed out like 1 Metropolis just to protect it so they don't get it stolen from them. But to be in this position where you could actually take all 3 and max them out, I've never seen it done before. I'm doing it here for the first time on my own. Okay, so what a hot turn. We get a bunch of cards. Now if I don't roll a 7, I'll roll a 2 instead. And funnily enough, gray has a 2, still get some sheep. I'll get science bonus. I'll take an ore. And I have 5 progress cards in my hand. Of course, I can hold them because I earned it, the 5th progress card on my turn. It was road building. So with road building, what to do? With commercial harbor first, let's gain some commodities because we're still trying to get that green Metropolis. I actually have another commercial harbor in my hand if I want to use that. But right now I can definitely get to Green City Improvements level 4. And then from there I'll be 5 short paper away from stealing a Metropolis. But first I'm going to max out the yellow Metropolis. So now we're at level 5 on both the blue and the green Metropolises. I'll put road building out there. And I'm actually kind of close to taking longest road, so I could potentially take that, go up to 19 victory points, and then taking the green Metropolis will put me at 21 victory points, put me past the amount I need to win. But I'll trade in for a 3rd paper. And 8 is going to bring me an ore and a 2nd coin, so I can do the 2 coin for the 4th paper. So I'll probably be getting Green City Improvements level 4 on my next turn. And we're coming down to the last 5.5 minutes of the game. There goes a 10. I get some sheep and cloth. And look at green still trying to make something happen. They use Trade Monopoly, steal away some paper. They get to level 2. which puts me one step back. But if Gray can roll me something good, they roll a 9. I get 2 sheep and 2 cloth. They do steal merchant from me, but that's okay, because a 4 gets rolled again. A very good 4, very crucial 4 here late in the game to push me further along the Green City Improvements track. So I'll do 4 coin for 2 paper, so I have a total of 4 paper. Now I have level 4. I just need 5 paper. 5 paper will give me all 3 metropolises. So I'll trade in for 3 paper, and then all I have to do is wait a few more dice rolls, and I've got it. And just for good measure, I'll build another city wall, so now I can hold up to 13 cards without having to burn cards, because of course my production is off the charts right now. There goes a 7. Let's hope I don't get a paper stolen. I get a cloth stolen instead, so that's good. Longest Road gets stolen by orange. So Longest Road is, I'd have to build 3 more roads to take it. Another 4. Okay, sometimes the dice rolls just work in your favor, and it's just great. I only have a 3-for-1 port, so I gotta wait for another merchant to come in off the yellow progress card stack, or just have another 4 get rolled, and I get 3-for-1 all the things I need, or some brick or some wheat or some ore for 2 more paper. All right, Gray, roll me something good. A 3, I'll take that. I did rip my 3 off my sheep hex off the main island, but I put it on an ore hex, so I get 2 coin. And there goes a 9. I don't... Yeah, science bonus, 'cause my 9 was shut down, but I already have it now, because I can definitely do 3 ore with my 3-for-1 port and 2 coin with my trade bonus. And that's 5 paper in total. And you're seeing it here. 5 paper, level 5 Green City Improvements. And we have done the Metropolis max out. I wasn't even going for it, but initially at the start of this game, but it just kind of worked out like that. So now look at that. Have you ever seen such glory in such a Catan game as this? All 5 city all level 5 city improvements of all 3 colors, 18 victory points, and we should be a shoo-in for the win now. Even without taking Longest Road, we're still going to try to go for it, of course, because it's always Longest Road. It seems to always decide all the games. So I'll go ahead and build 2 more roads, and that's all I can do for this turn. And I am literally 1 card away from winning. I need a brick to my name to build a road, or I need a ship to build a sheep. I need a sheep to build a ship. Said that backwards. Orange gets another Greater Catan victory point, but it's too little too late. They have to continue building out their Longest Road, which they don't. They don't build any ships at all. So 11, science bonus, I'll take a sheep. And I already have a brick in my hand, so I can build a road or a ship. And this game is mine. 20 victory points. What a game. It started out kind of slow, but finally it picked up. You know, initially my number diversity was not that good, but later on, once you start getting some serious city improvements, then you start getting some good progress cards, and that helps you further your game, even if your production might be not that good for the first half of the game. Your progress cards will help you build more things, steal cards from other players, which in turn will help you build more things, and it all just comes together. So I'll take a wheat so I can build the settlement if I so want to. But then again, I don't need to, because I get my wheat stolen away from me. And I roll a 7 on my turn, and it doesn't matter. I even get road building, and this game is over. I want to thank you guys for watching. What do you think? Have you ever seen someone take all 3 metropolises and then max them out? Because I've seen players maybe build 2 metropolises, or I've done 3 metropolises in the past, but I've never maxed them out all the way to level 5 on every one of them. I've had level 4 on a few of them. So that's 20 victory points, 3 metropolises maxed out, bunch of cities along the way, bunch of progress cards to help me out as well. We'll see you guys in the next Catan video, maybe even a live stream. Take care, and if you're snowed in like I am, enjoy it. Go outside, build a snowman, what have you. And this has been Greater Catan. Thanks for watching. Master merch I never got to use. Thankfully, it didn't get stolen from me, used against me. See you later.